Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at VeChain, its valuations against Ethereum. Remember, if you do like this video and the other videos that I make on this channel, be sure to hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. So, um, with all the hubbub about Cardano, um, I'd like to talk about VeChain because it hasn't made the quite as big of a move as Cardano recently. And I often make comparisons with the Cardano chart with VeChain. And this is where we see some kind of deviation here. Cardano has spent most of the time, even during Bitcoin being below the 20-week moving average, it was present against Ethereum in the upper bounds of the chart, only going as low as, this level here. VeChain, on the other hand, came back down to lower levels, coming back down to this area here. I was hoping that it'd come back down to this area, but in this video, we'll talk about how this might not happen. So, essentially, is it a good time to buy VeChain? Now, obviously, the best time in hindsight would have been here, during while Bitcoin was below the 20-week moving average. But that's hindsight. And essentially, what I think is that if Bitcoin is able to hold the 20-week moving average, if it's able to stay in this general area of, 45 to $48,000, not hitting all-time highs and kind of just moving along where we are, then this is a very good time to buy VeChain, I think. Or any altcoin, to be completely frank with you. I think if Bitcoin's able to stay where it is, altcoins on the whole are going to benefit heavily on that. And uh, and I would throw VeChain into the mix as well. VeChain is a pretty good asset to hold it against Ethereum. Um, if it comes back to the upper bounds of the chart, you're looking at about a 200% gain against Ethereum. And I think any asset that's able to outpace Ethereum um, consistently, like this, in terms of swing trades, VeChain is probably one of the better ones, along with Cardano, among others. But I think Cardano and VeChain are pretty good assets against Ethereum because of these swings, right? You have consistent highs, right? And consistent lows. And you can call this a low here, and lows here. So yeah, like this is essentially what I'm talking about. And if Bitcoin's able to hold these valuations, then this is a pretty good time to buy VeChain. Now you can definitely front run the market, and we've been talking about people front running the markets ever since there's the rumor or the hint of Bitcoin actually breaking the 20-week moving average, and those people actually lucked out pretty well, right? I was talking about it was a huge gamble to start loading up on altcoins now, when Bitcoin was still below the 20-week moving average. I believe we were talking about the week of August 2nd, when we were talking about this, and I said that it's a gamble. People front running the market believe that Bitcoin's going to be breaking the 20-week moving average this time around. It's a pretty big risk, and they lucked out, and they did pretty well. Especially if you had altcoins, you did pretty well. So with that said, this is another gamble. If you think that Bitcoin's not going to be testing the 20-week moving average, and in fact just going to start moving sideways, then altcoins are a pretty good bet, and VeChain as well. With that said, we could probably see if that is to continue, VeChain's most likely going to be reaching back its all-time highs at 25 cents and probably go higher. At the moment right now, it's currently fighting against the 20-week moving average, but I would remind you that VeChain doesn't necessarily hold the 20-week moving average as well as other assets. So I wouldn't necessarily concern yourself or burden yourself with monitoring the VeChain US chart with the 20-week moving average. I think what's better is just using the Ethereum valuation and see how well it's outpacing Ethereum, um, and go from there, right? Another thing to note is that in this past cycle, Cardano moved first, then VeChain. So with that said, we saw Cardano make its move. I don't think that move is over, but with that said, this is around the time that VeChain should start moving shortly. So I'd like to see that happen Full disclosure though, I don't hold any VeChain. I was waiting for this area here, but given the circumstances of Bitcoin being above the 20-week moving average now, it's holding the 20-week moving average. There's a real possibility that we continue on like this rather than coming back down and breaking the 20-week moving average. Um, all this points to that this was most likely the bottom, and that you're buying you're buying roughly about 20% premium against Ethereum uh, now, right? Which isn't terrible, um, but obviously 20% a lesser discount is always better. So do what you will with that. This is pretty much, I think, probably if Bitcoin's going to continue on like this, and what the environment is right now continues, this is the best time to buy VeChain, I think. I could be wrong. Again, if Bitcoin decides to break the 20-week moving average or come back down to the 20-week moving average and then bounce, and then we see a situation where, like what we saw in 2020, where we bounced and Bitcoin just didn't stop moving. These kinds of moves, altcoins cannot keep up, and VeChain would probably be beholden to that. So that is the risk that you're running. But if, say, that Bitcoin chills here before testing the 20-week moving average, then that window there is when you want to be holding altcoins, right? And VeChain could be one of them. For myself, I have a bunch of other altcoins that I hold, that I've been holding, and would very much like to see those get a move on during that time period, if that ever happens. Anyway, that's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.